let's review the Kingdom Deluxe class Paleotrex. And first impressions of this guy is that he is very weird. He looks extremely weird. I don't know, it did take me a while to get used to the way he looks, but yeah, very unique. Very strange. The reason why I picked this guy up was because I really like dinosaurs. I was a huge dinosaur fan. Yeah, I don't know what else to say. He just looks quite strange. The first thing that comes to mind is how weirdly proportioned this guy is. Like, for example, his arms are really long and his legs are quite short and his arms are very skinny as well.
Oh my god, bro. Oh, hell no, man.
Yeah, I don't know. He is not the best looking figure in my opinion. But once I got used to him, he did sort of grow on me. Like, I do think he's kind of cool now, but I do understand why like people will think he's quite strange. In terms of sculpting, it is very good. Very nice sculpting. As well as having very nice sculpting, he also has very nice paint. It's very good. I really like the dark brown texture. It's very unique. Makes it seem organic as well, like especially in these ribs. I also like this dark brown as well. It does set up a nice contrast, and I really like the way they did the gradients. It's a really nice transition. Design-wise, I've already talked about proportions and I think it's quite weird, but I also like the asymmetry. I really like this blade, the shoulder blade, and I think it really adds a lot to the design. If it was just this, he would look too skinny, like way too lanky. Having this really adds girth to him, I think. I'm not sure if girth was the right word, but yeah, it really adds width to him. His backpack is very minimal. It's just the T-Rex skull. That's very understandable because, yeah, I'm not sure where else they'll put that T-Rex skull. He looks very strange, he looks very creepy in my opinion. But over time, you do get used to him and he did sort of grow on me. So I really have no issues with the design right now, but it is very weird. He also has a really nice chest with the Predacon symbol on it. I think that's very cool. His head sculpt is a very nice skull. Very detailed, again has a really nice dark brown paint, and you can lift up to reveal his actual face, and I think his actual face is quite creepy as well. I really like the yellow, it really pops, but yeah, his face is so long and it looks very creepy. Again, this is a very ugly figure, but once you start to pose him, it does sort of hide the fact, or it does sort of make it easier on the eyes. And you can pose him with his swivel at the head. As I said before, this mask can go down and up. He can look up that far and down not at all. His shoulders can do a full 360, can go up out 90 degrees. There's a swivel here on this arm, and a swivel at the elbow. 90 degrees in both directions for his elbow. A swivel, I guess a wrist swivel. And his hands can open all the way and close that far, as well as a wrist back and forth. The other arm really has the same visibility, so I don't need to go over that again. He has a waist swivel as well. His legs can go out very far, can kick forward all the way, back all the way, 90-degree knee bend. He does have this weird shin pivot as well, and no foot articulation. So his posability is quite good. He has a lot of range in a lot of joints, but it is very hard to pose him because he's quite top heavy and the small feet do not help at all. Even though he does have heel support, it is very small, so it doesn't really help that much. And so he does have a tendency to fall. Also, I would have appreciated it if they added some ankle tilts, but I guess the shin tilts are fine. But the shin tilts just make him look a bit weird. I would have rated ankle tilts instead of these shin tilts. So yeah, let's get some size comparisons before we get onto transformation. Here is Paleotrex with my previous review, Kingdom Megatron, and Legacy Blitzwing. And so the reason why this guy's posability is so good is because he is a fossilizer. So he is designed to come apart into like a bunch of different pieces. That's why they were able to incorporate so many different joints. Yeah, let's break this guy apart. And so there we have Paleotrex in his, I don't know what to call it. Here we have Paleotrex broken down, I guess. And he does come with a lot of parts, and I do think that Kingdom did the weaponizers thing the best. Like having weaponizers as fossils, like being broken down into bones, I think is the best concept. Like a lot better than what they're doing now or what they did since. Maybe because I have a bias towards dinosaurs as well. But yeah, here are all his parts. I'm not really that imaginative, so I can't really give you much on this. But this part can be used as a mace, and this part as a small shield. And you could combine like different things to make like an axe or something. I think that's very cool. You do get a lot of options with Paleotrex. And yeah, I did forget to talk about his accessory. So this doesn't go anywhere in his robot mode. And yeah, I think that looks fine. It does look a bit short in his hands though. Given how long his arms are, it does sort of look a bit weird in comparison. But yeah, overall, it's an accessory. They do sort of need it, and I don't see what else they could have done with it. I'm not creative, but I will try to give you guys an example of what you can do. You guys could probably do a much better job than me. What I did was gave him this giant, really long axe, and the mace and the dinosaur head on the other arm, as well as that mini shield here, and his sort of like legs section and arms sort of become this like grabby backpack thing. Yeah, I did use everything. I did use all the parts. I think this guy is very easy to fossilize. Like, it's very easy to make a lot of weapons out of this. Yeah, I think it's very cool that you can do this, and I think it's very nice. However, I don't really like the idea of fossilizing or like weaponizers in itself. That's just a me thing, but I do prefer like transformers that transform. I'm just not a fan of like sort of breaking apart stuff and rearranging it. So now let's get this guy into his dinosaur mode. And I am very excited because I love dinosaurs. And so T-Rex mode is very good. This is the sole reason why I bought this. It looks so nice. I think it's very cool. Very good. I don't know, like this talks to my childhood. Very good looking dinosaur. All the really nice paint and nice sculpting is just used again. The head sculpt is so beautiful. Like, look at that. That's an amazing T-Rex skull. It's very nice. The sculpting on this guy is insane. In terms of kibble, the only kibble bit is just this, like, tumor coming out the back of his leg. It's understandable. There's nothing else they could have done with that. I'm so amazed that Hasbro made something like this. I thought they'll never do a skeleton of a dinosaur. I think that in itself is very cool. Sorry about all the glazing. I just like dinosaurs so much. Especially when you can get this guy into some really nice poses. With the head that can move up that far and down that far. No movement at the base of the neck because of the robot head, but if you remove it, you do get full down and full up movement. His mouth can open all the way, very nice detail. All dinosaurs should have that articulation. His arms are on the ball joint, they are fully free, no restrictions on movements. His legs, this is on a swivel and a swivel outwards as well. You can go all the way. Swivel up at the knee and a swivel above the foot. His feet have the same articulation as the hands. And the tail can go up all the way, down not at all, but there's a swivel at the base of the tail, and a swivel here, and a swivel there. So posability for this guy is okay. Not as good as Kingdom Megatron, but you can get him in some dynamic poses. However, I do wish that just his tail was articulated more. I really do like it when dinosaurs have articulated tails, and it really does bring a lot. Because having a stiff tail does make him look quite strange. It is good still, like regardless of the lack of tail posability, considering that most transforming dinosaurs really have bad posability. A good example of a dinosaur with good posability is Kingdom Megatron. As well as Kingdom Megatron, here is Paleotrex with Hightower and Legacy Blitzwing in both modes. Before we get to the conclusion, I do have one issue to talk about, and it's just a general issue with weaponizers. They do fall apart way too easily in my opinion. Like, you start messing around with this guy and his like legs pop off. The stuff starts to fall off when you play with him. It's understandable because Hasbro really can't do anything about it since everything is meant to fall off. It's just annoying to play with. It's not a critique on this figure, it's just a critique on weaponizers in general. And it is another reason why I do prefer actual Transformers. We'll get into the conclusion now. So, Robot Mode is very nice. It is the weaker of the two modes, simply because he looks very weird. It is sort of, I guess, an acquired taste. Portions are very weird. The fossilizing gimmick, I think it's very nice, and from what I've seen, it seems like it is the fossilizer with the most possibilities in terms of fossilizing and in terms of becoming usable weapons. Conversion into dinosaur mode is pretty fun, very intuitive, really have no issues with it. And the dinosaur mode, I really like. It's a very nice T-Rex mode, very good paint, very good sculpting. It's a very good figure. So if you're into dinosaurs and you're okay with like weaponizers and the fact that they don't actually transform, then I do recommend it. But yeah, that's it.